started because we are here to do a date breakdown, a video. And if you don't know where to catch these, you got to catch them on YouTube. You go to OWN TV's YouTube channel, and they drop these little clips or whatever that weren't seen during the regular show. Oftentimes they release dates they didn't show through the regular episodes, because you know these folks are going on a whole lot of dates and they don't actually get to show all the dates. So when they do drop the dates, I'm going to be doing some date breakdown videos of these dates. And so right now we got a date coming up between Christopher and Lee, who I didn't even know they went out on a date. I'm so happy they dropped this one because it was interesting to watch. But I'm going to watch it again with y'all, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions on this date breakdown. I got some interesting things to say, so let's get going. First of all, I'm going to stop right there. Lee's looking good as usual. One thing Lee's going to do is Lee's going to come in anywhere she goes looking good. And I tell you, of course, we all know she's a beautiful lady, beautiful body, a beautiful facial features, everything. So once again, she didn't disappoint. She's high-stepping it inside this restaurant. Let's keep going.
So excited to go into this date with Christopher and show him how I like to be dated. You can't treat me how you would treat any other woman.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. If any of y'all been watching my videos this season, Lee was my front runner. She was the person that I was like, she was one of my favorites. But I'm going to tell you right there, that comment that she just made really, really rubbed me the wrong way. First of all, it's giving me a lot of little different things. First of all, I'm okay with a woman saying, I want a man to know that I need him to treat me special. I want to feel special, from a man. I have no problem with that. But when you say, I want him to know he can't treat me like any other woman. So basically you just said you better than every woman and you can't treat me like every woman. I mean, do we know if Chris treats women poorly? Isn't that something you say when a guy treats women poorly? You go, hey, I just want to let you know you can't be treating me like them other women you be treating horribly. So I don't know why out the bat she says he can't treat me like any other woman, as if he treats women poorly, or as if she's better than all other women. So I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't like that comment. I don't even know why she said it. I'm just baffled by it, to be honest with you. Then the second part I didn't like, when she says, I'm here on this date to show him how I want to be treated. I don't agree with that either. Listen, when you're going out on a date with a guy for the very first time, you're there to listen and observe, period. That's what you're there for. You're there for him to put his best foot forward and for you to observe and watch. What does he have? What is he bringing to the table? What is he offering? It's not for you to go there and put your stuff on the table. Lee is going here acting as if she's here to impress. She's here to impress him. Why is she showing all her cards and everything she's got? No, she should be sitting back on the first date, listening to him, learning about him, seeing what he has to offer, what packages he's offering, what is he doing. Instead, she's coming here talking about, I'm here to teach him how to treat me. Why? Does he treat women poorly? Did we miss something? Does he treat women poorly and she needs to correct him? I don't know why all of a sudden Lee is in teacher mode. Why is she in teacher mode so soon? A first date? This is the first date. You should not be in teacher mode on the first date. You should be in listening and observing mode. Anyway, let's keep going.
How you doing, Lee?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for coming, Lee. After a great conversation, we exchanged contact information and there was absolutely no follow through.
Okay, there it is. Now I'm getting a little bit more inclination of what's going on here. First of all, let me give everybody a compliment for the hugs and the warm smiles. I absolutely like that. You know that on all my date breakdowns. You should absolutely greet whoever you're on a date with a warm smile and a warm hug. And I like that Lee did that. So did Chris. Chris came in with a warm smile as well. He looked good as well. Chris is a handsome guy. tall, good looking, handsome. I like what he had on. So I'm all good with that. But here's the first thing. Lee just told us that they exchanged numbers when they first met at that little flag football game they did early in the season. That might have been episode number 2. And they exchanged numbers. And since then, he hasn't even called her. He hasn't even called her, which means he ain't interested for some reason. We don't know yet why, but he's not interested. When men don't call, they're either not interested or not ready. One of the two. They're either not ready for you, okay? Doesn't mean they won't be ready for you later on. Maybe they'll call you later on. I don't know. Or they're not interested in you. So we already know that here is beautiful Lee, nice body Lee. She meets a guy at flag football. She gives him her number, and he don't call her. And now I know why she on here talking about she gonna teach him something. It sounds like she come on here to teach him a lesson. It sounds like she about to teach him a lesson because maybe what she's a bit is offended. Maybe she's a bit saying, how is it that you can see me with this fine body and who I am and you don't call me? Maybe I need to bring you on a date so I can teach you how you need to treat a woman. This is sounding a bit like arrogance to me, Lee. It's sounding a bit arrogant, but I'm going to keep going. Let's see what he has to say.
I'm looking forward to showing you how I like to move.
Okay.
Like if that's your vibe or not. Pay attention.
I'm trying to.
Okay.
Did she just say I'm teaching you how I like to move and you need to pay attention? Is this a get back date? Is this to get back at him for not calling you? Is this saying I've never had a man that I've given my number to and he hasn't called me? And who are you for me to give my number to you and you don't call me? You need to start paying attention because you don't know what you're missing out on. This is starting to give me, how dare you not call me? You don't know what you're missing out on. So I'm going to have to teach you and show you. I'm going to have to show you what you're missing out on. Like I said, if you got to do a whole lot of teaching and showing on your first date, you already in the hole. You already in the hole because a man should have already seen what you have, and the reason why you're on the date is he's here now to show you what he's got. Hear me out. If a man is already interested in what he saw in you, then when the first date comes around, he's here to show you about himself because what he's seen, he's already impressed. You don't need to show him nothing more on the first date. That's why you're there in the first place. You're on the date because what he has seen about you, he's liked. And now what he's doing is he's coming here on the date to impress you. So why would you be teaching a man on a first date? Lee got this all backwards. I think Lee is here because she was offended. And now she's here to show him what he's been missing out on. And she says to him, you need to pay attention. Well, I tell you, it's a whole lot of bossy women on this show, this whole season. It's a whole lot of them. A whole lot of women complaining about men who don't call them, complaining in their face, you don't call me, and then deciding they want to reprimand the man on why you don't call me. Tequila kicked it off. She started reprimanding Amarie for not calling her. Janelle reprimanded Herbert for not calling him. Kira has reprimanded Herbert for not calling her. And now we got over here Lee reprimanding Christopher for not calling her. These ladies better start learning how to take a hint. Maybe these ladies are so used to, because they're pretty women, of men, I don't know, falling at their feet. I have no idea. But they are offended by these men who are not calling them. They're offended. And I believe Lee is a bit offended. Let's keep going.
Lee is looking absolutely amazing. She have on one of my favorite colors, green. Hopefully that don't, what you say, run me off?
Hopefully it doesn't.
No.
So he said, I don't know, that looked like it was edited a little bit. He said, hopefully that doesn't run me off. Maybe she alluded to the fact that people may think she's a bit high maintenance. And maybe there was something said, because that looked like that was edited when he said, well, hopefully it doesn't run me off. He says, no, it won't run me off. There seems to be some type of conversation that was edited and cut out. So we don't know quite what they said, but let's keep going.
I'm loving the vibe with Lee, but at the hold down, I seen her and Q wrapped up. So I'm like, yeah, she off limits.
Okay, so what he's saying is when he went to the hold down, The reason why he hasn't called Lee is because when he went to the hoedown, he saw Lee all wrapped up with Quentin, and so he felt, maybe she was off limits. I'm gonna call a bullshit on that. Bullshit. Because let me tell you why I don't believe that. I don't believe that because what Lee told her was that when they were at flag football, which was like the second episode, they exchanged numbers at flag football. Now the hoedown, I'm not for sure when that was filmed, if that was filmed the same day or days after. I don't know. I know we saw it differently, but of course we don't know if it was the same day, a later day, or 3 days later. But I know there was some time in between, which means he had an opportunity to call her in between flag football and the hoedown, and he didn't call her. So the fact that he's saying, I didn't call you because I saw you hugged up at the hoedown, that's a convenient excuse. That's a convenient excuse. There was some other reason why he didn't call her after that flag football. It ain't just because she was wrapped up with Quentin. I don't believe that. Could be part of it. It could be what solidified it. It could be what made him really not call her, because we all know Quentin's been running around talking about he loves to compete. He loves to compete. He likes to win. And I believe Quentin probably is talking to Lee. They're not showing us those dates. I do want to see that date. But I bet he is digging in hard with Lee, because I know he's stringing Janelle along. I know Quentin's not interested in Janelle. He's using Janelle to get to the end, and he's feeding her ears all the candy she wants to hear to keep her wrapped up in him. But more than likely, Quentin is more into Lee. So I am believing Christopher in this, and that the word is that Lee and Quentin are the ones really booed up, not Janelle and Quentin. But let me tell you, when a man don't call you, when a man doesn't call you, you better really, really pay attention to that, because it's saying more. And what he's saying right now, that he didn't call her because of Quentin, I don't believe it. I don't believe he's interested in her. But let's keep going.
I'm trying to show Christopher that there are definitely levels to dating, different experiences.
Okay, there it is again. She's here saying she's trying to show Christopher there's levels to dating. I don't believe it. I don't believe she's here to teach Christopher. Because first of all, to put yourself in the position of the teacher, you would have to believe you're superior. So do you have a superiority complex, Lee? What has made you believe that you're in the position of teacher to him? I don't understand that. I don't think that's what she's doing. I think what she's doing is she's trying to prove her worth to Christopher. That's what I think. I think she's here to tell Christopher, I gave you my number, you didn't call me. Now I'm going to rub it in your face, and I'm going to show you what a high-class woman I am and what you're missing out on because you didn't call me. I don't think she came here to be no teacher. I think she came here to show Christopher what he's missing out on. Completely different. I don't believe it. I don't believe she's come here to be a teacher, because what makes you think you need to teach him anything? What do you know about him? You just said y'all ain't even had no conversation over the phone. So why would you think you're in a position to teach him? Why wouldn't he be teaching you? Nah, not buying it, Lee. I'm not buying it one bit. She was offended that this man didn't call her, and now she's here to teach him a lesson and to show him, I'll show you what you've been missing.
The wine tasting experience with Dexter was amazing. We had a whole journey through Italy and France and Napa Valley. Thank you for showing him how it's done.
You are now Jedi.
Okay, you see that right there? Another little condescending remark. Thank you for showing him how it's done, because I already know how it's done. Girl, oh my goodness. Lee, what are you doing? I was saying Lee hasn't talked much on dates. And I was saying she's been very quiet. I didn't know much about Lee. I want her to open up and talk more. But now that she's talking, I might need for her to be quiet again. I might need her to be quiet again, because she just looked at that man and belittled Christopher in front of this sommelier, whoever he is, and said, I thank you for showing him how it's done, as if Christopher is some little boy. This is horrible. This is horrible. I mean to tell you, Lee is puffing out her chest and saying, I thank you for letting him know how it's done, because I know how it's done, and we need to teach him. Girl, I heard a revenge body. You know when people break up with a man and they go out and they get their revenge body, so then when you see him, he look at you and be like, dang, you really got a shake since we broke up. This is a revenge date. This is revenge for not calling her, Christopher. She is here to get revenge on you. Let's keep going.
And I'm really excited to go into our nice plated dinner where we can get into some deeper conversation.
Girl, Lee, she doing too much. We can go into a plated dinner. A plated dinner? What is she talking about? You at a restaurant. Why wouldn't it be plated? Plated? Of course it's plated. Unless you at a buffet, unless you at Golden Corral, of course it's going to be plated. Plated just means the food is on a plate as opposed to a buffet. What is Lee doing? What is Lee doing? Is Lee trying to make us believe that she's some high class falutin woman? And she's high class. She high class. And he should be so thankful to be out with her. Girl, plated just means your food is on a plate. Where else would you go with some food on a plate if you're not at a restaurant? I don't get this. I don't get what Lee is doing one bit. No, I do get it. I know what she's doing. I know exactly what she's doing.
This looks amazing.
Absolutely. This is amazing. Thank you.
I'm glad you're enjoying yourself so far. Levels to a good date.
Okay.
Girl. She says, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself so far. There's levels to a good date. And she wants to make sure you know that she's high class and she's high level. When somebody got to tell you all the time how high class they are, I'm telling you, that makes me look at you a little bit lower class. I'm not going to lie. When somebody got to keep pointing out to you of high class they are, it actually makes me start thinking, are you really that high class? And I really start to key in. I start to say, well, listen, you guys are not in no 5-star Michelin restaurant, okay? You at a place where the bar is 2 feet away from you. You ain't at no high class restaurant if the bar serving the drunk people is just 5 feet away and they got guitars hanging on the wall. Oh, Lee, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is a revenge date. This is a date to get back at him, to say, you should have called me. You missed out. I'm high class. I'm in high demand. You should have been calling me, and I'm here to show you just how high class I am. This ain't here to teach Christopher. This here to teach Christopher a lesson. That's about what this is about. Levels. There's levels to dates. Oh, Lee. How do you know he's not ready for this level? I don't know where she gets this from. This is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous.
It's levels to a good day.
It is. And I hope I've set the bar. You know how to come with levels.
Yeah, okay.
There she goes. This girl can't stop. This girl can't stop. She says there's level to this. I set the bar. Come with a high. Did you see Christopher's face? He's done with her already. Did you see his facial expression? He is already done with her already. I don't know why she thinks that on a first date, this is the time that you want to so-called teach a man about what you expect on a date. No, you don't do that on a first date. On a first date, you sit back, you listen, you watch, you see what he brings to the table. You ask questions, you observe. Why would you be on a first date teaching? If you go on a date teaching, what if he could have really brought more? What if he's of a higher standard than you? And then when he realized, oh, this is what she's used to, then shoot, I don't need to take her to no fancy restaurant. If she thinks this is high class, maybe I don't need to take her to the Michelin star restaurant. Maybe I don't need to take her there because this girl is impressed over this. You see, when you go first and you set up the standard what she thinks she's doing, what you also do is you also let a man know where your pinnacle is. Now, he ain't got to go higher than that. He ain't got to go higher than that. She got this all wrong. This is lousy. This is horrible. I wanted more from Lee. I wanted more from Lee. And I thought Lee was very quiet, but now I'm getting a sense from Lee that Lee has a little bit of arrogance to her. I think she was deeply offended by the fact that he didn't call her. And I think this date is a revenge date. And this is a date to show him, I'm high class. Look at me. Look what you missed out. You the fool. She's basically calling him a fool and saying you low class. Let me show you what high class looks like. That's what she's doing. Anyway, let's keep going.
Kept iterating, yeah, it's levels to this. And I'm like, damn, do she not think I'm used to this? I'd have been at the table where they bring the meat out and cook that right in front of her.
Shoot, thank you, Christopher. Thank you, Christopher. What makes her think that you haven't experienced a restaurant with a white tablecloth on it sitting 5 feet from the bar? This girl, she act like she done flown the man to Italy and drank the wine in Italy. Girl, you mean just because she had a little private room and someone came and served her some wine, she all of a sudden talking about levels? She actually, what she's showing is she ain't used to that many high levels. That's really what she's showing, because she has really pumped herself up a lot on this date. This is ridiculous, Lee. I don't know how Lee came up with this. This is horrible. Horrible. Let's keep going.
Have you experienced any doubt when it comes to me?
They're like, no, I think her connection is already solid. And I'm like, well, I don't want to keep pursuing something and making a fool out of myself. So is you like off limits on this journey? Is it something?
Okay, so he's saying, yeah, the reason why I didn't call you is because I think you taken already. And I don't want to be no fool pursuing a woman and just to be pursuing her when the reality is you already taken. Okay, Christopher, I don't think Christopher was interested in her from the beginning. I think these vibes that we're getting from Lee, or I'm saying I'm getting from Lee right now, I think Christopher picked up on these vibes at the flag football, because they had a conversation, and he probably talked to her longer than we've even heard Lee talk. And what he heard from her at that flag football was enough for him to know he wasn't interested, and he didn't call. And now what he's using is the excuse that, oh, you already booed up with Quentin. Oh.
The fact that Christopher is looking at me as off limits in a group dating setting just lets me know you're not really tapped into this process. Everyone is free to date whomever they would like. So put your best foot forward and may the best man win.
Exactly, Lee. So Lee is saying, hey, how could you be saying you're not here to pursue me because I'm so-called Buddha with Quentin when this is a dating show and any woman that you will be pursuing more than likely has another connection? Exactly. That's why it's a lie, Lee. It's a lie. He wasn't interested in you when he saw you at the flag football. That's why it's a lie. It's a lie that he didn't want to pursue you because you so-called was talking to Quentin. It's a lie. So when she says, put your best foot forward and may the best man win, he's not interested in competing. He's not interested in competing. That's what he told you. He forfeits the game. He's done. But he's sure going to take this nice dinner you prepared for him where you coming and teaching him something. He sure is going to eat this nice good steak up and drink this good fine wine that you so-called said, I'm here to teach you something.
I feel like we had the first encounter, which was amazing.
Yeah.
But after there was no follow through, there was nothing after that. I was just like, well, I definitely don't want to be a part of something like that.
Okay, if the first encounter was amazing, then he would have called you. It wasn't amazing. It might have been amazing for you. It wasn't amazing for him. If someone has an amazing time, an amazing event, they call. They don't say, oh, I had an amazing time and now I'm not going to call her. Sure, men are sometimes nervous about first approaching a woman, but this wasn't him approaching you. He had already approached you. You already had a conversation. All he would have to do was follow up on this so-called amazing conversation. It wasn't amazing. When was the last time we heard Lee have an amazing conversation? In her head. It's in her head that she's having amazing conversations, because this one right here, even this conversation isn't amazing.
I'm like the type of person where I chase a woman when I know Lee the type where it's like, if I don't say nothing to Lee gonna lie.
I don't want you to chase me. I feel like I was clear in saying that I was interested, so that opens the door.
I don't mind chasing.
Here we go again, this back and forth. I opened the door, you didn't chase me. I opened the door, you didn't come in. A man dancing around, dancing around, dancing around. She said, I made it clear that I was interested in you and you didn't call me. He's like, I don't mind chasing, I don't mind chasing. He's just running around the bush. He's just running around the bush because he doesn't want to tell her what really was when I met you, I didn't get the vibes I wanted and I'm not interested. And she can't handle the truth. She can't handle the truth because there's probably not too many times men where she's given a man her number and he ain't called her, and she is dumbfounded over it. He ain't interested. Chris already told us he's a man that comes from humble beginnings. He's a man that comes from humble beginnings. He's come from the bottom to the top. Every woman that has been in front of him, that all she talks about is material things and how classy she is and how highfalutin she is, he hasn't been interested. He wasn't interested in Sierra when Sierra was talking about that Birkin bag. And he's not interested in Lee now talking about there's levels to dating. He's not interested in these type of women. He's a down-to-earth guy, and he's not interested in none of these women running around talking about Birkin bags. You got to give me levels to dating. He ain't into this. This is not his speed at all.
I just didn't know if I was wanted to change. She tells me the ball is in my court. Okay, I've been taking shots. I mean, are you not keeping score?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm keeping score. I'm keeping score, and it is 0. It is 0. He's talking tough now. He's talking tough now, talking about he's been shooting his shot. He ain't shot no shots. He's lying. He's puffing up his chest in this little after interview he's doing. But he ain't shot no shots. She's correct on that. She's absolutely correct in that, you know what? I've opened the door for you to walk through it, and you ain't shot no shots. And now he's up here talking about, I shot my shot. I shot my shot. No, you didn't. But this was one of the reasons why I was okay with Christopher going home, because Christopher doesn't admit, like I said, constructive criticism. He doesn't even like it when a woman actually is telling the truth. What Lee is picking up on Christopher is real. She opened the door. She gave him his number. She gave him enough indication that she was interested in him, of letting him pursue her, and he didn't pursue her. But instead of him just saying, yeah, you're right, I'm not interested, now he's calling her, don't be calling me out. Now this is ego talking. Now this right here is ego talking. Let's keep going.
I would say, like, I don't know, because you a lot of people top. And I guess that didn't lead to confusion.
Okay, so now he's getting to it. And now he's getting to it. And what he's saying is, you are a lot of people's top. And that leads to confusion. And what he's saying is that I'm not interested in playing in no crowded field with you, Lee. I'm not interested. It's still, whatever reason the man isn't interested, it still adds up to the same thing. Not interested. Whether it means he doesn't want to compete with a bunch of men, it still means not interested. Whether it means he doesn't like something about you, it means not interested. So what you gonna do? Make him interested? You gonna bring him on a date and teach him how to treat you? You gonna bring him on a date and teach him about the levels of dating? No. Aaliyah was low-key rejected. That's what she was. She was low-key rejected by Christopher, and she didn't like it. She didn't like it one bit, and now he's dancing around it. Let's keep going.
I'm more of a person that just focuses on one person, crash and burn. If we don't try to step it up and let it, be known what your intentions are.
So did she just say she typically focuses on one person, which she told us that early in the season, and if he doesn't step it up and if he doesn't chase her, they're going to crash and burn, which means she focuses on one person, which means, what is she, a first come, first serve? Is she saying you better hurry up and get in line, because if you don't hurry up and get in line, I'm going to be snatched up and taken, and I'm going to be focusing on the guy who snatched me up, and then you're going to lose out. Once again, Lee is here to show Christopher her worth. She came in here talking about she's here to teach him something. No, she didn't. She came in here to show him her worth. And now what she's doing is she's telling the man, listen, if you don't step it up, I'm the type of woman that I'm first come, first serve. And whatever man gets to me first, he's going to be the one I lock in on. And if you don't hurry up and come, and then you're going to be locked out. Well, that's not the way you should date, Lee. That's not the way you should date. Because sometimes the first one through the door isn't the best man. Sometimes the one that has muscled his way to the front necessarily isn't the best man. Sometimes those men that have real hunter instincts, the reason why they're so good at getting to the front of the line so fast is because they're used to doing it all the time. They're used to chasing women and hunting women real fast, like the Quentins of the world. I'm telling you, Quentin's a hunter, and I know he is. So a Quentin is used to hunting women, so he may be first at the door. But that doesn't mean that he's necessarily the best choice. Women better learn how to keep their dating options open longer and stop just going after the first man through the door. They better stop doing it. They better start learning how to keep their options open and to entertain the interests of several men at once. So then they're not coming back to me. So then now they're not like Lee coming over to Christopher and saying, oh, well, if you don't hurry up and be the first man through the door, I'm going to start concentrating only the first man and you're going to get locked out. I guess she thinks that's going to make him hurry up. No, that's not what that does. He wasn't interested in the first place. So what does that, why would you think that you telling him to hurry up will make him interested in you now? The fact that you here telling him this means tells you that you still got time because you ain't snatched up. She's starting to sound like a used car salesman talking about you better buy the car now because if you don't buy it now and you come back tomorrow, it's going to be gone. No, it ain't. It ain't going to be gone. It ain't be gone nowhere. It's going to still be here. You bluffing. Oh, Lee. Oh, Lee. Lee came off like she was coming in here all confident and she was in here to show him how to treat her and show her levels. But Lee just exposed herself. Lee just exposed herself. She might need to learn some new dating techniques. She may not want to repeat this date because this date was a fail. It was a fail. Sorry to say it. It was a fail. I didn't like it. Didn't like it one bit. I don't know about Lee. I told you guys I was starting to get a little spidey senses about Lee. And I'm not for sure I don't know what she's doing out here. I really don't know. I want to see a date with her and Quentin. I want to see how she acts around Quentin. And I want to see what Quentin is saying to her. Because I already know Quentin is saying a whole lot of sweet stuff to Janelle. I want to hear what kind of stuff Quentin is filling her ears with. Because I know Quentin, the personal trainer, knows how to hunt. I know he how to hunt because he hunts every single day for a living when he's charming all those women to be his clients. And that's what I believe he's probably doing with Lee too. She better not go with first come, first serve. She better not go with first come, first serve. But that's it, y'all. I'll talk to you later. Bye.